Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahawah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have taught us this word, teach us this word today. And I want to give a salutation unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is the brother Yatazakba with the GMS Nebraska camp. This is GMS Endeavor. And in this lesson, I want to get into this article from globalgovernmentforum.com titled Trump Orders End of U.S. Government Checks and Digital Disbursements Overhaul. So just getting into that title by itself, what is it saying? Trump is getting rid of the use of checks in the U.S. government. He's getting rid of that paper-based system, and what is he doing? He's setting up a digital system. Now we know this is all a part of the gradualism that's going to lead to Revelation chapter 13, and this is just all a part of this prophecy just manifesting itself and showing itself forth. As the scriptures say in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. And as this prophecy is speaking, it's showing it. How is it speaking? We see it coming to pass. We see the infrastructure being set up for the B system. We see the infrastructure being set up for the RFID chip by way of the AI, by way of the digital payments, by the dollar being phased out. We see the vision speaking, and so we see it speaking. That's telling us, according to this precept, that we're at the end, because at the end it shall speak, and not lie. It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Right? And as the scriptures say in Matthew chapter 24 verse 22, for the elect's sake the days will be shortened, and the prophecies and what the days and the prophecies in these scriptures, the speed at which they come to pass is going to be sped up. And ever since Trump has come into office, prophecies have just been manifesting themselves. This prophecy of the RFID chip and World War III, these prophecies are manifesting themselves. We see it brewing. We see it on the cusp of where we need to be for the end of the end to be here. So let's read into the article. It says, U.S. President Donald Trump has signed executive orders to modernize how the government handles money and centralize a fragmented federal disbursements bureaucracy to tackle fraud. So that's one of the pitches, for lack of better words, of why this is being set up. It's to tackle fraud. It's to set up a system that will basically, they'll be able to track what's going on. You won't be able to do anything under the table. You won't be able to do nothing shady. Because let's read on, and then I'm going to grab something that's going to back that up. It says the first executive order mandates that with effect from September 30th, the federal government will cease issuing paper checks for all disbursements, including intragovernmental payments, benefits, vendor payments, and tax refunds. It says Trump signed the order titled Modernizing Payments to and from America's Bank Account to force a switch from old-fashioned paper-based payments to fast, secure electronic payments across the U.S. federal public service. And these are a couple more of basically the selling points for the system that's being set up. This is modernization. We're getting with the times. It's secure. It's safe. It's a fail-proof system. And when we get into this other article that's linked, which is Trump and Doge demand centralized tech systems to track spending, this article shows what the true reason why this system is being set up is. Esau is going to say it's for this, it's for that, and those reasons can be, somewhat a part of why this digital system is being set up, or it could just be a mask for why they're really setting it up, which is why Esau wants control. He wants to know what's going on. And when this digital system leads to the RFID chip, and majority of the people on this planet have that chip in them, Esau is gonna know and be able to track and surveil, everybody who has that chip. He's gonna be able to know, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what plans you got. He's gonna be able to control, what you do, where you go, how you do it. That's what Esau wants. And this digital system is a part of that. It's going into his image in Revelation chapter 13. And when we read the first paragraph of this article, it says, President Donald Trump has directed U.S. government agencies to build centralized tech systems to record every payment made via grants and contracts as part of the ongoing Department of Government Efficiency initiative. So within the government, they're trying to, track and see, what's going on with these payments. Nobody's doing nothing off the radar. We need to know what's going on. But again, this isn't just a thing that's going to stay within the government and this is how they do things. This is going to trickle down to the people. Now, let's go and get Revelation chapter 13, because we're going to start at verse 16, which says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, we know that mark goes to what? The Greek word charagma. And as a matter of fact, let's grab it real fast. And it says, a stamp and imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, which there isn't one Antichrist. There is, the scriptures tell us that there are many Antichrists. There's just someone who is against Yahweh Shai. Now, it's really, if you get this chip, you're showing yourself as a follower, or you have succumbed to Esau, really. You have succumbed to his system. It says the mark branded upon horses, because when you brand a horse, you are basically showing that it's your property. It belongs to you. And that's essentially what getting this chip is going to do. That's what it's going to show. If you get Esau's chip, it's showing that I belong to Esau. I'm for him. And the whole reason Esau wants to put this chip in people is so that he can govern over them as the Most High governs over people. He wants to have people's life in the palm of his hand. Now, when it speaks about the chip being in your right hand or in your forehead, people are going to either get that chip implanted in their hands or in their foreheads, or really wherever they get it in their body. But those are the main, places based off of the prophecy. And when we think back to what did we read about briefly? The Doge being set up, and who's at the head of that? Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk has what? Neuralink, which is a leading company in what? Brain chips. We already know that there are a couple people who have the Neuralink implanted, and what are they able to do? It goes into the miracles of the beast. Because what the Neuralink is for right now is for people who are, paralyzed, to be able to live life as a normal human being. And that's going into that image. People are going to see that and think that this chip is a good thing, because it's going to be able to do miraculous things. And going into the chip being in your right hand, we see it gradually leading up to it by way of what? Well, first, let's read verse 17, and then I'll make that point. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And so basically, the point I was going to make was, I was at Whole Foods the other day. I was in the self-checkout, and there is no place you can put cash in that self-checkout. It's card or digital payment. You got to use your phone, use your card. But another thing you can do is what? Biometrically pay. And eventually that's going to be what it is everywhere, not just Whole Foods. That's going to be what it is at your corner stores, at Walmart. It's going to be a thing to where they're going to... Salakia, I got a phone call, it cut off the video, but as I was saying, it's not just going to be scanning your palm. It's going to be you're scanning that chip inside you over whatever, wherever you pay. And this is going to, and the scripture says that it's that no man might buy or sell, which we see that being set up by what? You won't be able to use paper money. You won't be able to use cards. Places won't accept it. Just like in that Whole Foods. If cash was all I had, I would have to leave my stuff. I wouldn't be able to pay for it. And it's going to become a thing to where if your card is all you want to pay with, you can't pay with it, bro. That's not what... we don't accept it. We don't use that system no more. But it's going to be a thing to where it's more than just buying and selling. You're going to need this chip to fit into society in general. So just like in the government, if you want to use a paper check, you can't use that. You got to use this digital system that we use now. That's going to trickle down to the people, to where eventually when it's the chip, to get into certain places, to get certain opportunities, to be in school, to fit into society, you have to have the chip. It's either you have it or you're going to be ostracized. You're going to be pushed out. And what Esau is going to do is that he's going to tighten and constrict society to the point to where he's making it very hard and difficult to live unless you have that chip, which is why we aren't supposed to get it, because he wants people to go to him on their hands and knees bringing their hand out to him like, man, just give it to me. You're submitting to him. You're recognizing Esau as the one who owns you. And that's what Esau wants. He wants a person to submit. He wants them to succumb to his system. So, hey, as the scriptures say, like we read in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3, hey, at the end the vision shall speak, and it shall not lie. And hey, based off of this order that Trump is putting out with the end of using checks and governments, this is a part of that vision speaking. This is all a part of the system being set up for what the scriptures speak about. With that mark of the beast, we see it taking place right in front of us. So Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahawah Harkwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and the salutation unto the elect.